The Business of Excellence by Justin Hughes. Narrated by the author. Part 1. Introduction. Chapter 1. The crux of the issue. Fly the plane. It was August 2001. I was a formation aerobatic pilot on the Red Arrows, the UK Royal Air Force's aerobatic display team, comprising 9 pilots flying Hawk jet training aircraft. We were due to display at Eastbourne on the south coast of England. It was a typical English summer's day, raining, hazy, and with low cloud over the sea. We started the show, and as we completed the first manoeuvre, the leader turned the formation out to sea. However, the haze had rolled in much thicker, and suddenly we were in cloud. And not just any old cloud, but really thick cloud. We'd been flying approximately 5 metres away from each other, and all of a sudden I couldn't see the aircraft next to me. As the pilots started to lose sight of the aircraft around them, one by one they started to break out of the formation, and we ended up in cloud, in 5 sections of aircraft, underneath airspace used by London's Gatwick Airport for commercial traffic. 1 minute I was flying the display, in a zone of what the psychologists would call unconscious competence. The next minute I was on my own, in cloud, travelling at a speed of around 400 miles an hour at 1,000 feet above the sea at some funny angle relative to the surface, with 8 other jets, which I couldn't see, not far away in the cloud. How do you resolve a situation like that, which jumps from business as usual to impending disaster within the blink of an eye? Where do you even start? In order to answer that question, I need to offer you some further insight into being a military fighter pilot. If you ask somebody what are the core skills or competencies required in flying, they may offer suggestions such as having good spatial awareness, keen hand-eye coordination, excellent eyesight, and so on. I wouldn't argue with any of these things when you're learning to fly. However, by the time you are operating high-performance jets, these are simply the prerequisites. When you first start to learn, it takes all of your mental capacity just to fly the plane in a straight line and respond to the radio. Over time, though, the basics become embedded in your subconscious. Muscle memory and pattern recognition do a lot of the job for you, and you become much more effective at prioritising your time and focus, and so have excess brain power freed up for other more advanced tasks. And you need this spare capacity to operate the aircraft. A modern high-performance jet has more information coming in and more things going on at once than the pilot could possibly digest in the time available. So operating a jet is, as much as anything else, an exercise in multitasking and prioritising. The ability to do this well is often the difference between an exceptional and average fighter pilot. You see this same pattern in the acquisition of almost any new skill. At first, you are fumbling and having to concentrate on every single aspect. Over time, patterns and actions become memorized and automatic, and you start to focus on the subtleties or advanced skills that were initially completely beyond you. The corollary to this is that often what is happening in front of you, the pattern, has too many variables to take them all in. But once you have seen the pattern enough times, you start to recognise variations from the pattern, even without isolating all the variables. This concept also holds true when building on skills starting from an advanced level. When I started training on the Red Arrows, I was already an experienced fighter pilot. But more than once I would watch the video of the practice display and realise that I had not turned the smoke on for a particular manoeuvre. And yet on the radio, which was overlaid onto the video, you could clearly hear the leader calling, "Smoke on, go!" How could one not hear that? It was absolutely loud and clear. The issue was that I was concentrating on the basics, staying in the right position, nothing was subconscious at this stage, to such a degree that I had no spare mental capacity to even notice what was being said on the radio. The ability to multitask and
Sample complete. Ready to continue?